Hey everyone, Cinephile Mike here, and welcome back to Oscar Rewind, my bi-weekly series of videos where I revisit films that reflect the earlier work of this past year's Oscar nominees and winners. As always, I'll be discussing the awards history for the film, the box office information, the critical responses, and as always, these reviews are spoiler-free. You can find older episodes and a lot of other great exclusive content here on the YouTube channel or on my website, cinephilemike.com. Today, for day 47, I am looking at a mystery featuring the OG James Bond, Sean Connery, and the OG Blade, Wesley Snipes. Yes, I am talking about 20th Century Fox's Rising Sun. Written by the team of Michael Crichton, Philip Kaufman, and Michael Bax, based on Crichton's novel and directed by Kaufman, the film was released in the summer of 1993. A box office success, the film spent several weeks in the top 10, and as per Box Office Mojo, made $63,179,523 domestically and $44,019,267 internationally, for a worldwide total of $107,198,790 against a reported $40 million budget. However, while the box office was successful, the ratings not so much. As of this recording, according to Rotten Tomatoes, the film has a small composite of 40 critical reviews, resulting in a 33% rating, and a 40% audience score culled from over 225,000 reviews. So, why does Rising Sun land on Rewind this season? Well, it is for the sleek and stylish clothes designed by Jacqueline West. Jacqueline is a 5-time Oscar nominee, and she had her 5th nomination this year for the gorgeous and lush costumes of Killers of the Flower Moon. Fun fact, her first Oscar nomination was in 2001 for the period piece Quills. Quills was her second credited costume design as per IMDb, and Rising Sun marked her first. So there was a 7-year gap in her work, but from Rising Sun to Quills, she ended up with an Oscar nomination. She has since been nominated for The Curious Case of Benjamin Button, The Revenant, Dune Part 1, which could make her a frontrunner this upcoming award season because she also designed Part 2. And throughout her long career, she's also worked on such Oscar fare as Argo, The Tree of Life, and The Social Network. Also, this is an interesting fact. I mean, a little sad for some people, this film leaves a poor taste in some people's mouths, but she actually designed the costumes for the League of Extraordinary Gentlemen, which had marked Connery's final film before he retired from acting. So she's dressed him twice. Rising Sun did not have much of its own awards history. There were really only 2 references. It received a nomination for the Expose Award from the Political Film Society, which, according to their website, recognizes films that bring previously obscured truths about the political process to the attention of the public, showing, for example, how offices of public trust are used for private purposes. Not my definition, the website's. And it's worth noting that Killers of the Flower Moon, for which she was nominated this year, was also nominated this past year for the Expose Award as well. The other nomination the film received was a win, which was for the film's composer, and my apologies if I mispronounce this, Toru Takamitsu, who won recognition by the ASCAP, the American Society of Composers, Authors, and Publishers, for scoring one of the top box office films of the year. So, Rising Sun. At the start, during a party for Nakamoto at their new Los Angeles offices, this technology company, a woman is murdered in the conference room after an alleged asphyxiation during a sexual encounter. LAPD officer Webb Smith, played by Snipes, is called in to investigate and is told on the way that he is to pick up former officer John Connor, played by Connery, and no, not the John Connor from Terminator 2, different John Connor, uh, to come with him because he has experience working with the Japanese citizens in Los Angeles as a liaison, having spent time in Japan and working with them when he was a more active police officer. Now, upon review of the surveillance footage to see what's going on, they see that one of the discs is missing and something seems to be amiss. And so, by following the clues, they believe that the lead suspect is the woman's boyfriend, Eddie Sakamura, played by Hiroyuki Tagawa, as he was one of the last ones seen with her. But as Smith and Connor dig deeper, they see that things are not really what it should be. And as they continue to follow clues, they will be brought deeper into dealings that involve the Yakuza, corrupt businessmen, ones that are and aren't necessarily part of the Nakamoto company, American businessmen who are not necessarily on the up and up, and a possible governmental conspiracy at the hands of a senator who's a little deeper into these business dealings than he probably should be. Additionally, Smith will deal with a situation from his past that comes up with the annoyance of an investigator, appropriately nicknamed Willie the Weasel, played by an always welcome Steve Buscemi. As Smith and Connor enlist additional support, mistakes will be made, accusations will be thrown, and alliances will be tested as we build towards the truth coming out, thanks to some support from colleagues of Connor who understand how to best support the police in this, which come in the form of Professor Sanders, played by Dakin Matthews, and Jingo Asakuma, played by Tia Carrere. Here's the thing. On paper, this film should work very, very well. It has all the components that we were enjoying in those, mystery suspense flicks from the early to mid 90s. We have Connery and we have Connery and Snipes who were in their prime and supported with a cast of those that I already referenced. And they also had Harvey Keitel playing Snipes' former partner. They had Ray Wise as Senator John Morton. I mean, we have a novel by Crichton as the source material at the same time that we got Jurassic Park. We got both of these in the same year. And Kaufman, who had lots of great credits to his name at the time, but this one tragically falls a little short. I mean, the premise is interesting, looking at, the Japanese business culture, proper etiquette, which is, probably what led to the Expose Award nomination, and building it with a story of scandal and corruption. I mean, these are good things, if even the film did have a little bit of negative reproach from some Japanese citizens feeling that it painted them in a negative light. That aside, we get a lot of plot elements that we don't need that take us away from the primary story. For example, there's an investigation into Snipes' character based on his past, and while you can see the through line, it's not necessary. And part of the joy that you have of the film is that it's solving a mystery. So it's not really an action film so much as more like a psychological thriller. But then we get into this third act fight scene, which almost feels like it was put in there for Snipes and Connery to lean into that skill set, but it wasn't needed. The film is a little overlong at about 130 minutes, which could have worked if they'd spent a little more time fleshing out the primary storyline. I mean, even when we kind of wrap it up, it's all wrapped up so quickly because it's like, okay, our film's getting a little too long. I had to go back and rewatch the last 15 or 20 minutes to make sure I didn't miss something. And when we learn who, and even that's up for debate, who is at the center of this murder, you're almost like, okay. And sadly, the chemistry between Connery and Snipes, which is needed for a film like this to work if they're going to be partners, it didn't really feel like it was there. There were some good quippy moments, but I don't want to keep talking about it, so I'm going to move on. I will say, stylistically, the film looks very nice. And, Jacqueline West is the reason that I'm bringing this film to Rewind. Her costumes were very sharp and representative. The suits all look great. The color choices. Snipes has a red shirt for most of the film, so that's an interesting color choice given the passion and the things that we go through. So the aesthetics were captured nicely. And there were some great production design elements worked into this, some cars that I absolutely enjoyed looking at. And I will say, Takamitsu's score does provide a nice undertone to set the mood of what we're watching. But nice design concept and nice music can't really save a story that doesn't go where it needs to go. So for me, and again, it's because it kind of falls apart, Rising Sun is only a 2-star film. Interesting concept, not fully executed, needed a little more time to cook. But if you are a Connery fan, there are some fun moments. If you would like to see Rising Sun as of this recording and posting, the film is only available for purchase or rental on most digital platforms. There is no streaming information available at this time. All right, so there you have it. Rising Sun. Day 47. I hope everyone is enjoying Rewind, and for those following along, I hope you are enjoying the footage that's coming to you from the Edinburgh International Film Festival. There is more coming. If you like what you heard here, please click the button, subscribe to the channel, spread the word. You can follow me, Cinephile Mike, on all social media platforms and on Letterboxd, and you can check out my website, cinephilemike.com, for a lot of great exclusive reviews of this summer's new releases. Happy watching, everyone, and until next time, this is Cinephile Mike saying take a break and watch something new.